Hey there, so welcome back. So this is where we left off was we saved our file. Then the question is how do we load our file? So we're gonna do that right now. So here in our text body, like this is what we did previously in terms of saving, and then we saved it. But now we want to load it. We want to load it somewhere. So I believe it's text area. So we're gonna load it into a text area, and let's give it an ID because we always have to. We need to target the element in order for to put stuff inside it. So let's call it text area, just to keep it simple. Text area. So it's there. Save that. Now we have that here. But you know what? This looks kind of messy. So I'm just gonna put a couple breaks here. Breaks here, and then now it looks a bit clean. And obviously we would want a button. So underneath the text area. So let's input, and let's make that a button. And let's give the button a value, so it's not just a blank button. Value, and let's call it load because that's most likely what you'd be calling your button. Anyways, so we have a load. Oh, that's a little bit messy. Let's well, that's okay. I guess we can just hit the load button there. But oh wait, this is not this input is not a button. This input is actually a file. So you gotta call it. So the type here has to be file, not button. If you do that, this is what you'll see. You'll see something like this. Choose file. Now that's kind of messy. You can't really like I tried. You can't really change the name or anything like that. So what I suggest you do in the future, I'm not going to show this to you, but what you can do in the future, you can make a button, right? And you can have the button refer to this choose file. So you just make this invisible. So you make this choose file invisible, and you make your button, and when you click on the button actually clicks on this, and it does the whole action. But in this video, I'm not going to do that. So you guys can figure that out later. So here we have this, and we probably should give this an ID. ID. Let's call this load. This ID will be called load. And again, we want to, when we click on this, we want it to do something. So instead of on click, we're going to be using on change. So on change, we're going to activate our function. We're going to call our function load underscore func. I like to end all my functions with func, just to indicate that it is a function. Let me just copy paste this. Copy that here. So this has an ID of area, text area, and this has an ID of load. So you should remember that. So this is text area, and this is load. And we when we click on this, it's going to activate this function, and we're using the onChange method instead of the onClick. So this onChange here, onChange, and that. So now let's make our function. So this is our save function here. We're going to make a load function. We're going to call it function. And we called it that load function. And on top here, we need to target our the ID here. Now, what's funny is that in order to target the element, like typically in most cases, I don't want you guys to fall for this trap. So in some cases, you guys type in this here, and then it refers to the element, and it goes down here, and you type in this here, but apparently it does not work. This does not work at all. I tried. So you have to leave this here inside here blank. It has to be blank. It has to be. So if you can't do that, then we have to do the old-fashioned way of getting the ID. It's called var. Well, we'll do the old-fashioned way. And so first thing we're gonna do is here is var. Let's call it file. Document. Oops. Document get element by ID, and our element we called what's load. I believe it's load. I called it yeah, it's load. So basically I'm targeting this element here, and at the end, so basically load refers to this element on load, and we are getting the element here. So this is the element, and I'm gonna type in files and an index of 0 because we're only choosing one file. We're not choosing multiple files, right? So we're just going to index of 0. There's a way of doing multiple files, but I haven't tried, and you guys can look that up on your own. But for our purposes, we're just going to do file and I'm using the index of 0. So next thing we need to do, we need to open up a reader. So var reader, and we'll be using this new file reader, and we're just gonna make it. We're gonna make it, and that's done there. And the next part here is we need to do reader on load end. I tried on load, for some reason it didn't work. So it's gonna be either this, gonna be on load or load end. For me, it's on load end was working. So I'm gonna make a function inside another function. So it's a function here inside another function, and we're not gonna give it nothing. We're just gonna give that, and everything we do inside here is basic. This is where all the magic will occur. But on the outside, we have to do this. We have to type in reader and read file as text, because remember we saved it earlier. We parsed it as a text file. If you remember here up here on JSON stringify. Well, let me just get rid of this. On JSON stringify, we turned it into a text file, so everything is text, right? So everything we saved is a text. So we want to convert it back into a list. But first of all, it's a text. So basically, we need to read it as a text. So that's going to be file, and that's it. That's all you need to do, right? And everything inside here is where the magic happens. So just to see if it's working, we're going to type an alert. Actually, let's make a variable. It's called up here var load. It's called just load equals. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to grab the stuff. So again, we used JSON to stringify, so now we're going to use JSON to parse it, to turn it back into what it originally was. So parse, and you have to type in reader.result, because over here is our reader, and then I believe its result is I think it's a key. It's a keyword you have to use, and then you have to give it an index. So the index. So earlier we saved the first stuff as index 0, and this one is index 1. So we have to do the same thing here. So this is going to be their first name, and if you use the other one, it'll be index 0. So we're just going to extract the first name for now, just to see if it works. And to see if it works, we can use the alert and load. Let's put a semicolon here and a semicolon here. And yeah, that's it. That's all you need to do. Let's see if this works. Let's go to choose file. We saved it right here. And it works. See, 0. It just showed up here. So if you want to put it inside a text box, what we can do is, well, let's make another variable. Let's call the text. Well, it's called text box, right? And I believe we called the text box earlier. So it's document get element by ID, and if you look up here, we call the text area. We call it text area, not text box. Copy and paste that. Let's go down over here. Let's paste it inside here. Text area, and again, we want to target what's inside this box. So we're going to type in here value. That's what's so now we got what's inside the box. So what we're going to do here below this, we're going to type in text box equals. Remember, this is the value, right? We're going to equal it to load, right? And that should pop in whatever you loaded earlier into this text box. And let's save that and let's try it now, and hopefully it works. Oh, it did not work. Huh. Let's take a look. Well, the alert works. Let's see, alert, load. And let's just comment this out. And let's see if that works. That should work. Oh, that's not working either. Maybe we did something wrong. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, this is working here, right there. So maybe it might be easier if we did this. If we did text value. This is the reason I don't like JavaScript. Copy. So let's do this. Let's put this down here. V value equals load, and hopefully that will work. And let's do that here. Oh, it's not working. That's very odd. Let's maybe. Oh, I know why. It's because we didn't put these quotations. You need to put the quotations here because because you're targeting it. So if I type in test quotations test here, it should show up there. Oh, that's text. Test here. Then it should show up there. So let's do that. Click save, and then it should show up as that, and then test over here, right? So instead of putting test here, we are going to put load. And let's see if that works now. There we go. And it shows up here. So that is how you can load your function. Sorry, load whatever you saved earlier. And that's about it.